It's not a mistake if you learn from it. Right, prep Monday night. 2 out of 2 is 5. No, that's wrong. Don't worry, sir, I'll get it right on Wednesday. No, it's still wrong. It's still a mistake, isn't it? It just means you won't make the mistake again. So that's a stupid expression. Live every day as if it's your last. Brilliant. Go and steal something. Spend all your money. Don't go to school. Oh, get to the end of the day. Oh, no, it's not, is it? Whoops, today. I'm out of money. I'm now in jail. Brilliant. Great expression. Wealth cannot buy you happiness. I'll give you homeless man on street versus Bill Gates. Ask who's happier. Right. I'm over the moon. Basically means I'm really happy. Right. So if you go over the moon, you go to the dark side of the moon where there's no air, no oxygen, no one's been there and it's miserable. Brilliant. So that's a way of saying you're happy. You must be really happy. Next one. Best thing since sliced bread. You have not lived, whoever came up with that. What about the iPod, the car, a wheel? What about even non-sliced bread? That's just as good. But no, thanks for having not thinking of since sliced bread. Waste of time. Can't judge a book by its cover. Right. Rawson shouts means Rawson's angry. Rawson smiling means Rawson's happy. Very simple. Can judge a book by its cover. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Really? That's amazing. How much is your arm and leg worth? Right, Gabby's arm. Right, if it's rotting and dead, I'm not going to pay a huge amount for it, to be honest, Gabby. So, does that mean it's cheap or expensive? Stupid idea. Don't cut corners. Why not? I've got a list of sums and I've got a calculator. Now, I'll put them in columns, I'll put my decimal point in the right box, and then I'm going to add them up slowly. No, use a calculator. Do cut the corner. No, I need to get from A to B. Now, let's do some trigonometry. If I go from A here and put my compass here. No, use a thing called a sat-nav. It'll tell you how to get there. It's a lot easier. Ah, there we go. Don't worry. A picture paints 1,000 words. No, it doesn't. Stick man. Tells me 3 things. Either the person is thin, I can be bothered to draw, or I can't draw. It doesn't tell me 1,000 words at all. It's a piece of cake. It means it's easy. Anyone watch the Bake Off? So, to be honest, I think it probably means it's really hard or quite delicious. It doesn't mean it's easy. To hear something straight from the horse's mouth. A horse does not talk. And then, oh yeah, your guess is as good as mine. You arrogant person, how do you know your guess is as good as mine? I might have put a bit of thought into my guess. You might not have done. How dare you put me on the same level as you? And then the best of all, it's raining cats and dogs. Really, these well-known flying animals that produce rain. Why a cat and a dog? Oh, get again, the poor old cat gets it. He was in a bag a minute ago, now it's in heavens putting out rain. So my thing is, get rid of these stupid expressions, use your own words, use your own language, and as they might say, I've signed, sealed, and delivered my message. Oh, the ship has sailed. Oh yes, I'm done and dusted. No, I've just finished.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to start off by asking you a few questions. Put your hand up if you watch TV. Thought so. Now, keep your hand up if you watch EastEnders. Now, I hate to burst your bubble, but today my aim is to ram, shove, thrust, and do whatever it takes to put EastEnders into Room 101. Here we go. So first of all, I think that EastEnders has to be the most depressing programme ever. Also, it is actually clinically proven that seeing positive actions puts you in a better, healthier state of being. Well, that's certainly not what EastEnders does. No, no, no. It's all about tough relationships and divorce and everything you don't want to happen in your lives at home. Now, let me tell you my experience of EastEnders. Oh, I can't even say it. Anyway, every Friday or so, my parents like to go out for dinner with a friend. Fine. But when they tell me that me and my brother have the horror of finding out we have a babysitter. No, not just any babysitter, no, but Amy. Now, Amy's favourite programme was, yes, I think you've guessed it, EastEnders. Why? And what's more, we just bought some new high-tech surround sound speakers. Fancy, huh? So, it's extra loud than normal. The dreaded theme tune starts playing. And the depressing cries of, "Oh no, he's going to divorce me! And she slept with my brother!" junk, drifting into a complete nightmare, giving me a bad mood for the next day, and a bad hair day, and a debit. Poor me. So let's shove EastEnders into the gloomy depths of room 101 and vote for me!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I stand before you, a man on the brink. I've got an addiction. My particular addiction, I like it. I love it. In fact, it's my iPhone. My iPhone, I find myself just looking at this screen non-stop during the day, in the evenings, and it's got to go. It's not good for me, it's not good for my family, it's not good for anybody. I'm just looking at this little screen all the time. This little thing does everything. It's a brilliant invention. I don't even have a watch because I use my iPhone. In the morning, the alarm goes off. It's not an alarm clock, it's my phone. Music on my phone. Email on my phone. Internet on my phone. Everything's on my phone. I'm always looking on my phone. It's got to go. It's driving me crazy, the amount of times I'm just finding myself looking at it. Oh, I've got a message. Just looking at it's got to go in that room 101. Oh, hi, Julia. No, I can't. Just give me a second. No, I'm actually doing this. No, I'm doing a bit. I can't just. Look, I'll phone you back later, okay? Sorry. Don't you find that rude? You're my audience, and then I answer the phone. That's, again, very antisocial phones. But where was I? With the Sean O'Brien thing. Yeah, I spent the entire evening looking at my phone, scrolling down, refreshing to see if there was any news of the disciplinary hearing. Was Sean O'Brien going to be banned for 1 game, 2 games, 3 games? My poor wife was sat there, and all she could see all evening was me scrolling on my phone, refreshing it to see the latest news. Got 7% left on my phone. This is sending me into a bit of a mould. I'm not happy with that. 7%, I haven't even got my phone charger with me. What am I going to do? It's unhealthy. I know I'm not the only person who's got this, and there's plenty up there who've got the problem as well. I know. There's plenty people who've got this problem, and it's not healthy for society because half of us are just spending our time just looking at a little screen. Got to put, even though we like it, we've got to put it in room 101. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Florence. Or Flo, or Floss, Flojo, Flodge, Floby, Flozzle, Flosser, Flopsky, Flip-Flop, and yes, if you haven't already guessed, I'm talking about the terrible, horrible, abusive, nincompoop nicknames. I want to bombard nincompoop nicknames into room 101 forever. Why? Because I think we should be called the name on our birth certificate. Why should our names be shortened or even lengthened? The dictionary says that a nickname is a name given to a person instead of his or her real name. But how do nicknames come about? Well, it's when a name develops and develops into another name. For example, my sister calls me Lance. How does that relate to Florence? For nicknames that don't have a story, I usually stereotypically chosen nicknames, like Blondie. I think they're just jealous of our hair. Or something like Shorty. And I'm here to tell you there is absolutely nothing wrong with my height. We all know that all good things come in small packages. Who gets annoyed when you meet an old friend of your parents for the first time and they ask you what you want them to call you? In my head, I'm saying, how about the name on my birth certificate? Well, they end up saying, I don't mind. And then they say something like, how about Flimbo? My heart drops. But then I think, oh well, I'll never see them again. Tragedy strikes, and you see them at a friend's party of some sort. You try to avoid them, but they spot you and come running over, calling, Flimbo, Flimbo! And just to make the situation even worse, they squish my delicately precious cheeks in front of all my friends. If you want this to stop and ban all this embarrassment and cheek squishing, help me kick nincompoop nicknames into room 101, slam the door and never open it again.
I keep bleeding the love one. No, stop, because it's going straight into room 101. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and staff of Cheam School. Today I'm going to put you out of one of the biggest miseries of this century, singing catchy songs. Yes, I'm putting catchy songs and earworms into room 101. The definition of an earworm is a catchy piece of music or phrase being repeated over and over again in someone's head. Now, I think all earworms are extremely annoying, but the worst, biggest baddies of our time are adverts. So here are my top 3 most annoying and catchy adverts. At number 3, moonpig.com, which I think I've spent at least a month repeating over and over again. For example, what would you like to drink? Moonpig, oh, I'll have a Coke. At number 2, the Argos advert theme tune, which is the one that goes, oh, 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 oh. And at number 1, the worst of all, the pre-X Factor Talk adverts. Now please consider the following. You're in exam week on the last full day, and a very lucky little year 4 who's finished the exams walks down the corridor saying, spread it like it's peanut butter jelly. Well, please don't, because I'm just about to go into the exam, and my point is, when you're in the exam, instead of thinking about the chemical formula of glucose, you're thinking about peanut butter jelly. And as it happens, by a matter of chance, you're doing CE, and you don't get into your senior school. Then no university, and by the time you're 18, you have no education. So you spend the rest of your life being a bin man. And I'm not saying that's a bad job, it's a great job. And I appreciate it massively. I just don't think it would be any of our first choice. So if you agree with me, or even if you don't, stop singing along, vote for me, and put catchy songs into
Hello everyone, my name's Tom. Look, usually I'd like to speak about positive things, pride myself on being fairly positive, but, Mr. Orson asked me to speak about something that really got under my skin. And I've made a lot of good friendships over here. You guys are all fairly nice. There's one relationship I've shared with a small machine. It just has worn me down. I've got to tell you kids, it's not fun. Laminating. Yeah, you all know it. You all want your work laminated, huh? You know who does it? Me. You know who makes me do it? See the teachers back there? Yeah, they're getting me every day. Yeah, it's not fair. It's a bit sad because, I'm meant to be a member of staff, right? The only time teachers want to talk to me is they'll say, hey Tom, how's your day been? I'll say, oh, you'd never guess, I've had a great day. They say, sorry to cut you off, can you just laminate this? They don't care how my day is anymore. They just want me to laminate things. And it's really getting me down. I said laminating gets under my skin. Well, not does it just metaphorically, it does literally as well. This school is pretty big on health and safety. So much so to the point that when I go to Cheam Tops, I put on my fun police hat and ensure no child has fun for the interests of health and safety. Apparently, the staff room, that room over there, that room's just exempt. Because, you can just flick the laminator on, leave it on at 200 degrees, and then walk out. And I go to touch it because someone says, oh, Tom, can you laminate something for me? And I burn my fingerprints. None of you share the same fingerprints as me, so when I burn them, I lose a part of myself. This machine is really getting to me. And you kids, you think it's funny that the teachers pick on me with laminate, don't you? Go on, you'll have a laugh. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny. Well, you know what? You guys aren't so innocent yourselves, because I know exactly what you guys have done.
Yeah, you're pretty clever. You guys use little things called friction pens. Smart. I get it. I get it. You know why friction pens are really good for laminating? Because I have to photocopy them before I laminate it. It makes more work. Everyone is out to get me, and it all comes back to the laminating machine. You know, some teachers, I'm not going to name names or anything, but maybe the head of English gives me things to laminate that he doesn't even need laminated. Not Mr. Rawson, sorry, I don't know why I'd say that. He's left blank pieces of paper in my pigeonhole and asked me to laminate them. Pulling one from the old country, I've had a downright gutful of this. I've had enough. No more laminating. We need to put the laminator into room 101 so that next year's gaps, when Mr. Milbank asks them to come, they don't have to spend the whole year laminating, and maybe they can have some fun once in a while. Thank you.
I'm walking down the steps when I gaze at the glistening ocean. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful until a man strides out from the water wearing a tight pair of branded hot pants. Do they think it's attractive? Do they think it's comfortable? Do they actually give a caring thought to a poor 12-year-old girl who's just been mentally scarred for life? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm ranting about men in Speedos. If you don't know or haven't seen the atrocious sight yet, they are extremely tight pairs of waterproof shorts prone to old and young men. Speedos. I mean, it's not exactly Vogue material, is it? So do not be confused with the term speedy and the branding Speedo. It does not make you any faster than you already are. I'm so sorry to say if you thought Olympic swimming was on your list of ambitions, but no. If you didn't know or haven't thought about it yet, Speedos could actually cut off your circulation if worn on a too tight fit. Isn't there a much more comfortable alternative? Trunks. What is wrong with some material draped over your body? Not pinched, but draped, delicately. It's the men. I'm sorry, boys, but it's the men who wear them. The mad tribe who wear them. The disgusting, revolting, totally uncool men in Speedos. So please join me in putting a stop to horror holiday stories and banish men in Speedos into room 101 forever.
Half-empty packets of crisps. Have you ever bought your favourite packet of crisps to find they're half empty? Well, this is certainly true for me, and that's why I want to slam, smash and hurl this money-scamming plot into room 101. The reason I chose this subject is because of all the annoying crisp makers that say, hey, I just had a great idea. What if we make the packets twice as big, write 50% bigger on the packet, then put in no more than 1 extra gram of actual crisps. Just make the packet heavier. Yes, that's exactly what we want. The packets are already too big, so let's solve the problem by making them bigger. Makes sense. A week or two ago, my mum bought some Tesco's own brand crisps, and the bag was enormous. As big as a giant, but in terms of content, as small as a pea. When she opened it, only a quarter of it was filled. This humongous bag that big was only a quarter filled. Are you really getting your money's worth if you buy something like this? You'd be better off buying 2 small packets. It's a complete con. That's why we need to launch this into room 101, nail the door shut, dig a hole, and drop it to China.
Please don't fall asleep yet. Don't you hate when your parents, your patronising parents, get out their spectacles with super strength rose tinted lenses and begin to spurt nonsense from their day? That's right, I'm talking about that plague of phrases in my day. It is tragic that this century is so boring that teachers, parents, and anyone else who thinks our way of life is so sinful that they must inflict on us this painful, irritating phrase, in my day. Here are a few recent speech crimes. In my day, we had board rubbish chucked at us if we talked in choir. In my day, we never ate that many sweets. In my day, we never had iPads. we went outside. In my day, we were hit with a slipper for misbehaving. Well, I hate to break it to you parents, dear, but we choose to socialise during choir and online. And might I say, we spend plenty of time outside. If you don't like this, please return to 1960. How is it that the paragons, the pictures of perfection, come from halfway through last century? Why aren't we the paragons? At least we were born in this century. So, to preserve our sanity, let us enrol our parents and teachers in ducking from board rubbers and stop being a wuss, it's only a slipper classes. But most importantly, let us banish the shameful phrase, in my day, to the depths of room 101 forever. Thank you.